Today I'm going to show you this really simple recipe to make this delicious Mediterranean and goat's cheese quiche. So the first thing you want to do is cut up your vegetables so that you can pop them into the oven to roast them nicely. I've got red peppers, yellow pepper, red onion, and I've also got some on the vine cherry tomatoes. These are going to go into my baking dish with a little bit of olive oil and mixed herbs, and then these will go into the oven on 180 degrees centigrade for about half an hour. Once your veggies have been in the oven for 15 minutes, you can then start prepping your base. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get your short crust pastry. You can make your own if you'd prefer, but I like to cheat. I feel like it's so much quicker, so much easier. Right, so I'm gonna lay that into my dish. So mine doesn't quite fit my dish completely. So I lay it in, then I cut the excess out, and then I fill the rest of my dish with my short crust pastry. Right, so once that's on, you just wanna crimp the sides nicely, and then any sort of dodgy areas that you've got here will kind of blend in. Now I'm going to get my fork and just make little holes in my base. That's going to make sure the air can kind of circulate underneath a little bit so it gets nice and crispy right in the center as well as on the outsides. And now it's ready to pop into the oven. If you have some of those sort of the beans that you can put in here, you can do, but I don't have any. So I'm just going to pop this into the oven just like this. This is going to go in for about 12 minutes on 180 degrees centigrade. So while those two bits are in the oven, I'm going to start prepping my filling. So I've got 3 eggs that I'm going to add into this little bowl here. I always crack my eggs first just in case any shell goes in before adding any other ingredients in. I'm also going to add in 200 mils of double cream and then a generous amount of salt and pepper. If you wanted to swap out the double cream, you can add creme fraiche in there instead, totally up to you, whatever you'd prefer. And then I'm just going to whisk this together until it's nicely combined. So I did make quite a lot of these roasted veggies, so I might not use all of them. But what I do like to do is then just keep the rest in the fridge and I can add them to other meals. So I'm just going to get some of my veggies and lay them into the bottom of my pastry. Try and spread them out a little bit so you haven't just got big clumps of one type of vegetable. And then I'm going to go in with my egg and cream mix on top. And then I'm going to go in with some dollops of goat's cheese. This is such a delicious summer recipe. And this is perfect to make up in advance, and then you can bring it out when you have guests over, or you can just keep it in your fridge and it can be lunches throughout the week. Actually, this whole recipe is very versatile because if you want to substitute any ingredients out for something else, you can do, and it works just as well. Same mixtures and quantities, depending obviously how deep your dish is as well. I'm going to use this whole lot of goat's cheese. And then what I'm going to do is, you'll see in a minute, I'm going to mix everything together so the goat's cheese can kind of disperse through this dish. So now all your goat's cheese is in, I'm just going to use my little whisk and just kind of move things around like this, just to make sure the goat's cheese is going down into the bottom of the pastry too, just to get it all nice and even. That is done. So I'm going to pop this back into the oven on 180 degrees centigrade for about half an hour, but just check it. And the way you want to check it is just give the middle a slight little tap. And if it feels harder, like not hard to the touch, but if it feels like it gives something back to you, then it's ready and you can let it rest when it comes out. In it goes. And there you have it, your Mediterranean and goat's cheese quiche, ready to enjoy. Oh, that's really delicious. I like it, it's got so much filling. That goat's cheese really makes it, I think.